Just an absolute pleasure to have in for the first time Kari from the Clinton Happy Joes. Thank you so much for coming in.
Well, thanks for having me.
So it is yours now.
It is mine.
Talk about the process of getting the Happy Joes franchise here in Clinton.
There's a lot of hoops you have to jump through, and I won't bore everybody with every detail, but from the financial end to the corporate end, you have to dot all your I's and cross all your T's. So it took us quite a long time, but it's been ours for almost 5 years now.
Okay, that is great. So, and of course, your husband Brandon, he's
Yes.
been there for a while.
Brandon is treading on 37 years.
Amazing, really?
Really.
High school, he got started right there with it, or
No,
what?
he's a bit older than me, Gary.
Oh, okay,
So
all right.
he came here to go to college, and it was just a college job. He was going to auto mechanics school and going to get a degree in business management, and he never left.
So Jim McGraw brought him on.
Yep.
And then he obviously has moved up to the point where you think, this is something I want to do.
He did. I can still remember the day we were all, standing in the kitchen, and I had heard Gino's Pizza was for sale. And I said, jokingly, we ought to buy that. We know everything about pizza. And Jim came flying out of his office, and he said, well, what the heck do you want to buy that for? He said, why don't you buy this? And I said, well, I didn't know it was for sale. And he said, well, somebody's got to take it over. So that's how it started. It was just kind of a joke.
So, and Happy Joe's is, how many states is Happy Joe's in?
Oh boy, I believe we are in 8 different states right now. We are moving into Florida, God willing, in the next month. It's been supposed to be opening now for like 6 months, but they're having a lot of troubles after they had a huge storm with their construction. So I think they're just waiting on a parking lot and a few inspections, and they'll be opening. So we'll go down there for that and welcome them. We're also opening Texas and 2 in Arizona again.
And it all started just downriver.
It did. We were the second store, but Bettendorf
Really?
was the first store. Yes.
Mike, really?
Yeah.
So Happy Joe Whitty.
Yes.
Okay, is he still around?
No, he
Okay.
passed away.
Okay. all
He's
right.
always still with us, though.
Yeah, I would think so. How long ago was that?
Joe passed away 2019, I believe.
Okay. Gosh, I missed that. So, Happy Joe's, how did that happy come into Happy Joe's? Was he a happy guy?
Joe was a happy guy. Joe was an odd guy. If you knew Joe, you'd know, wow, that guy was a different guy. And he worked for Shakey's Pizza. And he didn't necessarily like to work for the man. So he always wanted to own his own business. One day he had a woman come in with a child who had special needs. And they were trying to quiet the child, and they kind of wanted to sit the child towards the back. And he was like, no, this isn't going to happen. He wanted a special table out front. He wanted these people to be there with him, and, the world to see what a great thing that this lady had. But the rest of the people in the restaurant didn't seem to want Joe to put this child out front. The child was making noise. And so that from that moment on, he knew he was going to try and get himself a loan to go get his own restaurant and to have a place where everyone was welcome and where we focused on people with special needs.
That is one thing I wanted to bring up with you a little bit later in the program, but you brought it up now, and we'll just go with it. You do a special Christmas
We do.
program every year, and I know this is something was very near and dear to Jim McGraw, and you certainly have carried on the tradition. How long have you folks been doing that? Any idea?
We've been doing it as long as Happy Joe's has been in Clinton. It is actually part of your franchise agreement.
Oh, okay.
So either you grasp it or you don't. We're actually one of the few locations left doing our own party just due to finances. A lot of locations have said, hey, I can't afford to put on a party like that free of charge to the community. So they've started a gigantic party down at the iWireless Center, or the Mark, as I still call it. But Brandon and I actually went and volunteered before our party, the 2 days before, down at the iWireless Center, and amazing. I mean, they do 3 big parties with almost 1,000 kids at each shot. So everybody gets a gift to see Santa. We dance, we sing, and we eat pizza and have a great time.
Talk about the celebration in Clinton, because I see the school buses there when it's a holiday time. How many schools are involved? Talk about putting it together.
I start in October. I get a hold of the school and I say, what are your numbers? I need staff and students because we feed staff just like we feed the students. We have Clinton, Comanche, and Northeast, and our numbers have quadrupled over the years. Jim and I used to be able to put on one party and knock it out, and Brandon and I have got it up to almost 3 parties now. The third party is a little less, but we usually try to fit wheelchairs and such, our bigger wheelchair groups in those, just because they do take up a little more room. And we want everybody to not be kind of crammed in there, so.
And it's all special needs.
Yes, every special needs, so.
That is amazing.
Yeah. We have had to try to scale back in the last year and cut out high school. Otherwise, I'd have to have 6 days. And honestly, right now it's crazy. Prices are crazy in this world, so we had to do what we had to do, but it's still a good time. But we did make sure that they knew they could go down to the iWireless Center and party down there. So some of the groups decided to go down there.
Franchise with Happy Joe's, and was it last year you folks were recognized?
It was the year before, so 2 years ago.
Okay.
We were Operator of the Year, and really proud of that. It was quite an honor for us to be recognized like that. It's something people wait for their whole lives in the Happy Joe franchise community. And
you guys got it early in the game.
We got it right away, but we've been there for a while, just not in the right place.
So how does that happen? Who selects that, and what is that process like?
So it's selected by the National Franchise Board, and then also all of the people who work at our support center down in the Quad Cities. And it's just about your sales, your numbers, your volunteerism in the community is a big thing. That's a big thing that Happy Joe stands for, is they want to see you out in your community. And luckily, I do enjoy doing that. Brandon, not so much. He's more of a behind-the-scenes guy. Super friendly, but it's just not his thing. But I enjoy being out and being with people. So
in fact, we're going to have you back in at 4:30 this afternoon.
You are.
To talk about music on the app. Actually, I think is it 4 o'clock or 4:30?
I believe it's 4.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay, I don't know why I put 4:30. 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. So how'd you get involved with Music on the Avenue?
Well, I was really feeling that I needed to be involved with our downtown. Since Happy Joe's is downtown, and I feel it's really important for us to stay downtown. That's where we've been forever. People are like, oh, move out to the West End. You're going to get more business. I like it that I'm a destination spot. People have to want to come to me. You're not just cruising by most of the time in that area of town unless you're on the riverfront. So it's definitely a destination restaurant. So we just really think it's important to be a part of our downtown. And I think the downtown is growing. I think we're going to be really happy to see our downtown in 5 to 10 years. There's some great things happening. We've got Megan Prey working with us right now. She's our administrator, and she's getting things all straightened up. And there's going to be a ton of new stuff, new businesses, and it'll be really exciting. I
could see it trending that way. We just had Lou in from Deja Vu, and of course she's a big anchor, and Tim Clark with Circle Bar is very involved as well. And our mayor and our city administrators seem to be very interested in making the downtown better.
They do. We've got great partnerships with the city, with Grow Clinton, and just all of the people down there who want to see better things. So,
and the great thing about the downtown is it leads right to the Mississippi River.
It does.
And that is, when I was doing the professional baseball play-by-play, and the families would come in from California or for whatever, they always wanted to see the Mississippi River. And
that's one of the main reasons that I don't ever want to leave the spot we're in. What a great place to come and grab a scoop of ice cream and go up and walk and look at the beautiful things Clinton, Iowa has to offer. For the people out there who say that we don't have anything in this town, you're crazy.
Great riverfront, beautiful riverfront. Visiting with Kari of Happy Joe's coming up will be a check of the weather.
Hi, this is Margot Hansen. Plan to join me every Saturday morning at 9:15 for the Great Green Garden Show. I'll have the information on how you can have the beautiful lawn and garden you've always wanted. Plus, I'll take your calls. So plan to join me Saturday at 9:15 a.m. for the Great Green Garden Show on KROS.
The Great Green Garden Show is brought to you by Paradise Gardens, 1530 14th Avenue in Fulton, a greenhouse that plants and sells flowers, vegetables, grasses, and shrubs.
for the Storm Track 8 weather forecast, brought to you by Dan Dolan Homes.
A weather impact alert is in place for your Friday, especially as we get into the afternoon, where we're expecting strong winds, gusts up to 50 miles an hour. Mostly sunny skies will push temperatures into the low 60s this afternoon. Those temperatures will drop into the mid-20s tonight as gusty winds continue. With your Storm Track 8 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Andrew Stutzky.
Currently, we have sunny skies and a temperature of 50 degrees. Winds are out of the southwest, 15 miles per hour. This weather report on KROS has been brought to you by Dan Dolan Homes. The Clinton County Solid Waste Agency is closing at noon today due to high winds.
So where do you want to live? Imagine yourself in a new subdivision located between Whittier Elementary School and the new Clinton Middle School and alongside the beautiful Emma Young Park. Easy access to everything Clinton has to offer, just south of 13th Avenue North at Mill Creek Parkway. It's a great time to get into your new home. Come out to Mill Creek Crossing and see our family homes, or pick out a lot and we'll build your dream home for you. At Mill Creek Crossing, we're building a future for all generations. Stop out today at our sales office, open 7 days a week.
Monk's Auto can do it all, from oil changes and overhauls to using state-of-the-art technology for expert alignment service. They use quality parts, and their work is guaranteed. For complete auto repairs, both foreign and domestic, winter, spring, summer, and fall, call 243-5421. Monk's Auto Repair, next to Superwash, 1406 North 2nd Street, Clinton.
Ladies' Day on KROS. We got Kari of the Happy Joe's. Let's talk a little bit about Happy Joe's. You guys are famous, of course, for your taco pizza, but you've got a great variety.
We do, and we've just changed our menu, and we've brought back some of the old favorites. We brought back the Spaghetti Joe, which is a spaghetti pizza that's actually the best of both worlds. You get your pasta and you get your pizza, so we do that. Of course, we're the taco pizza originator, so we created it. We do it the best. Happy Joe's special Canadian bacon sauerkraut. It's also a favorite. Either you love it or you hate it, kind of thing. We do the chicken bacon ranch, the combo. I mean, we have tons of different pizzas out there.
So who decides what the pizzas are going to be? Do you do that? I mean, can you say, hey, we want to try this, or do you experiment on your own? Are you given that liberty?
Well, actually, I am the president of our franchise board, and I'm also on our product innovation committee.
Okay.
So for 2 days out of the month, I spend my days down in the Quad Cities, and we work with all of the stores who want to be involved, and we create new specials, new pizzas, new items. Currently, right now, we have melts, which are something we created in our PIC committee, which is Product Innovation Committee, and you can put up to 3 toppings. It was meant to be a value line pizza. I didn't bring it on at our store because we do make our dough fresh every day, and that is not a homemade dough, but I did bring it on for the appetizer aspect of the melt, where you fold the flatbread over.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you guys go down there? I mean, do you actually get to taste the food and stuff like that?
You never, ever, ever eat before a product innovation committee meeting, because you're always eating food and tasting, to see what flavor profile is the best. So.
You talked about your location and the inside. Do you have to do many remodels, or how does that work?
Well, crazy enough, since Brandon and I have bought it, we've tried to do a few little things here and there. We did a sewer line, which was super exciting. But we repainted the entire inside and outside of the store. And just 2 weeks ago, we had the smorgasbord taken out. So it is no longer part of our store. And if you come in our store, it looks kind of, discombobbled in there right now. We're waiting on carpets. And so we're excited to get our new carpet in and have a fresh new look.
The smorgasbord, of course, that COVID probably is the reason that went away, or
COVID and just cost. After seeing, the numbers after we didn't have to throw away all that food. I mean, food cost is crazy right now. If you go to a grocery store, you know that. And I just don't love that you can get something on a smorgasbord that has been sitting there for quite a while. I want people to taste the most fresh, best product right out of the oven. So we're offering great specials. If you call the store, you'll always get the best special. Although we are featured on DoorDash now with our own drivers. We're doing like a self-delivery with them to just kind of grasp the younger people. Because I know if my son's ordering something, he doesn't pick up a phone. He gets on his phone. So we're just trying to, get every aspect. But I just don't feel the smorgasbord was very cleanly. You know, how many hands touch that? I think deeper than the average person. So I'm not a buffet girl.
Good point. Good point. That is for sure. You know, another thing about Happy Joe's is the ability for a young person to find employment.
We do employ a lot of young people. So we do start employing at the age of 14. But we do kind of have to be mindful of how many 14-year-olds we take. Otherwise, it's kind of like herding kittens. You know, and I'm not usually the person who has to deal with that. It's Brandon. So when I call him and I ask him how his night's been, I know if he tells me he's herding kittens, he's got too many youngsters on. So, but we have a lot of employees who have been with us for 25 plus years. So we're very grateful for what we do have, but always looking for new smiling faces.
Got to slip your song in here, and you picked out an appropriate song.
I did. I picked out Happy.
You know, the pit. How did you get involved with that?
The pit committee?
Yes.
So they were looking for people who had ideas and who were willing to take time out of their own restaurant, because that's the key right there. Most of us franchisees are owner-operators. So I don't exactly have the time, but Brandon will watch the store whenever I need him to, you know, so that guy's not afraid to work an open to close shift. And I just thought it was important that my customers were heard. You know, if they said that they wanted this, or they would like to see this, or they see another restaurant doing this, why don't we do this? I wanted to make sure that their voice was heard so that they knew that they were valuable to us.
Do you get those kind of suggestions?
Oh, yes.
Oh, do you really?
All the time. And sometimes you get those suggestions and we'll say, oh, we do that. Oh, I didn't know you did that, you know? So it just depends.
Ice cream, birthday parties, that's a big part of Happy Joe's.
I always say we are the birthday party place, and we're pretty much the only game room left around that's still a quarter a game. We kind of pride ourselves on keeping our game room affordable, so you can still come and have a good time in a working game room. That really, it's a big deal to kids.
The game room is a big hit. There's no, our grandchildren are getting a little bit older, but when they were younger and we would go to Happy Joe's, yeah. And then, you know, they get all those tickets. And then they go trade those in for some valuable prizes.
Some fabulous prizes.
How do you keep, I mean, is there somebody who comes in and that's his job, is to bring prizes?
You're looking at her.
Oh, so where do you get these prizes?
Where do I get these prizes? Let's see. We do a lot of like Amazon pallet buying.
Okay.
We also have a company that we buy stuff through, but getting a little pricey with the tariffs right now. So, because everything comes from China. So I just look for great deals in stores. I, shop a lot of Target clearance. I shop a lot of not Target clearance, but, just when we see it, we grab it.
And how often do you have to replenish that wall?
Kind of depends. Every morning, Brandon comes to work every day, even though he works the night shift, and he goes through the entire game room to make sure every game works. Every game is feeding tickets. It's full of tickets. They're full of toys if they're a crane game. And then while he's doing that, I fill our redemption area and try to make it packed full of good stuff that kids want. Every kid wants to pick something off the wall. So what you need to keep in mind is that there needs to be lower priced items on the high shelves. Because to a kid, well, I want something on the top shelf, So we have little things we try to remember, and it seems to be working well.
And how often do you have to change out the games, or are they pretty much a staple?
They're pretty much a staple. All but like 3 of our games are very, very, we would like to call them vintage. If you open them up, and some of them we can't even get parts for anymore, but luckily Brandon's been fixing games. He fixed all the games when Jim was around. Brandon is amazing. So
it's nice to have somebody handy like that.
It is, because most Happy Joes pay one guy, and he travels to all of the Happy Joes. So you wait when your games are broken or you have a coin jam. Not us. We just call Brandon, and he's so happy to come in and fix everything, even when he's at home.
That is great. And we're going to wrap it up talking about Brandon. He likes his cars.
He does.
And he's not afraid to go a distance to get a car.
You send him to buy a minivan, and he comes home with a Firebird. You never know.
Where does he find these cars?
Where does he find them? Boy, Gary, he combs the internet. He combs just about anywhere, but he's a very picky guy, but he has quite a collection. So
yeah, and he must be very mechanically adept.
He is. He started with restoring antique tractors when we first met each other, and I could have killed him. We were so poor we couldn't even afford to eat, and here he comes with this rusty tractor in our driveway, and I'm like, oh my God. we could have bought groceries, Now that rusty tractor is worth quite a bit of money because it's all restored, and we have 3 of those.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's what he does in his free time. He tinkers, so
yeah.
You'll never find him out in, a bar or out partying, but you'll find him in the garage and tinkering and having some fun. That's his kind of fun. So.
Well, again, thank you so much for coming in. You're going to be back at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
I will.
To talk about music on the Avenue, and you said you're excited about that.
Oh, I'm very excited.
Kari, thank you so much.
Thank you, Gary.
Time. Sometimes there just isn't enough of it. The Community State Bank of Fulton would like to introduce you to their mobile banking. At your convenience, you can check your balance, deposit a check, and much more, and all on your time. Find out more about mobile banking with Community State Bank and all the many other banking options available to you. Discover the freedom and ease of mobile banking by stopping by Community State Bank on the east edge of Fulton, Illinois. Community State Bank, member FDIC. Again, our thanks to Kari of Happy Joe's for stopping by. Again, she is going to be back in at 4.